A game that I was a really big fan of, that I'm not actually a fan of the, I guess, source material, is Attack on Titan. The gameplay really, really fits well, and like the story fits well with the gameplay because you're swinging around, you're basically Spider-Man, except you also cut giants up into little pieces and stuff like that. That said, Attack on Titan 2 comes, and it really, really, really improves on things that didn't need to be improved, so it makes it even better experience. Jason?
Yes, it does, to an extent.
To an extent.
To an extent. I think the gameplay, they find ways to make it less tedious than the previous one. So there's different ways to attack Titans to stop the advance of the Kyojins.
Yeah.
They have ways to do that make it interesting, make it more fun. The way they do certain things as part of the story, makes sense and tie it all in together. But it's tough because basically you play Forrest Gump. Like you Forrest Gump your way into this. To explain, you end up in historical moments in the show that don't necessarily make sense. You Forrest Gump in your unnamed OC who happens to be in the background of everything that's happening. But the problem is this was already a series that really delves into its B characters.
Yeah.
So like how do you... I didn't notice you were there. I'm getting along... I'll make Connie now. Hey, hun. That's like... So it just doesn't work for this as well as it should. And yet, it is great fun and everything about it I really, really, really enjoy. It's fantastic.
OC characters have always been a problem with me. I haven't really enjoyed that many OC games like...
Dragonverse.
Dragonverse. Xenoverse. It kind of worked, but still like you felt like you were just, throwing into things and like whatever like that. It still doesn't really matter though, because like all you're doing really in the story, you're basically like... camera. You're basically the camera of the anime.
Correct.
Like you're the cameraman for the basically you're the drawing.
But the other thing is like obviously they have relationships. So you build up relationship points depending on how many missions you go on with them. You can actually give them gifts. You can ship them basically. I know, right? So it's like it's flick the bean fodder for a lot of people. I know. And so if you love Levi, you can give him gifts. If you love Eren, you can give him gifts. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. But then it also later on it actually has a role in the R&D side of it. So you actually increase attributes, all that kind of stuff. So it all ties into making your character strong and adding on to their skills. The more relationship points you have, the more skills you have, things like that. Which is great for when you fight it because obviously at the start you're going to do really, really well. But when you start getting later into the story, when you have these lots of abnormal Titans coming in, it's a lot tougher.
The one thing that I really noticed actually, which surprised me, is that even though the movement in the first game was really well, they've just made it smoother and nicer. And like, you don't have to like sometimes reattach things. You can just hold the button and it goes where it should go. And it feels really nice just to move around. Like,
it's Spider-Maning it alone. Even just flinging through the air, it's fine. And so one of the new things is the enemies. If a Titan stares at you for too long, he gets into a rage, and then he will chase only after you. So that's where you need to use some of your leadership to get other people to help you to take them out. But you have to run. You can get them. So when they go for a dive, then you can just chop them while they're not looking. But if they're a large Titan, you haven't hurt them, you're in trouble. So you need to just run. But even the way that you're looking away from the camera, like the camera is shooting through your head, and you can still understand where you're going. Like it's Spider-Man's really, really well. They have added new attack moves, so you can do a sneak attack where you zoom in on them using your telescope, and then you shoot straight at them and chop them. But if they catch you doing it, they instantly enrage. So it's the trade-off of if they turn around, I'm dead. If they don't, like it's thing. And now that they also find that they're also more prone to like jumping up and catching out of the air. So I've had it happen a few times where I'm like, I'm away, and then this other one just out of nowhere just grabs me, and I'm like stabbing his fingers trying to get out. So if you enjoyed the first game, which I think was, like you say, even if you didn't like the source material, it was probably the best anime game of that period. There's still a lot here for you, but it is going to be really for the hardcore fans to get into the shipping and like...
Oh yeah, but like that's always like that. And there's still a fair amount of grinding. So you can, even if you're just like...
Rip tray. It's going to be a lot of grinding. So there is so much to do in the game. There's so much fun to be had. The relationship stuff adds stuff. Honestly, I think... if you enjoyed the first one and you thought the first one left you a little bit hoping for more, then this game will take all of that, improve it, and you don't even really have to focus on the relationship stuff too much if you don't want to. So Attack on Titan, basically an improvement in every way that I can think of.